like it or not.
Can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
It became national attention in '96 when you decided not to stand for the national anthem, but you had been doing it, 4 to 6 months, I think you said in the doc before that.
I remember after doing that interview, after the shoot-around, I'm going home. We have a game against Shaquille O'Neal, Orlando. And the reason I say that, man, these are conversations we have all the time. On the bus, on the plane, we're having them. And so I didn't really think anything of it. I'm just speaking what I believe to be true. But I knew that it was serious when, even more so. I knew it was serious at the shoot-around. I knew it was even extra serious when Bernie called me to his office when I got to the arena. And he said, the NBA wants to suspend you if you don't stand. What do you say? I said, Bernie, I'm not standing. He said, well, some people want to call you, so get them on the phone. And so we're now talking. I wish I could remember who it was. And as we were talking, they said, they started talking to me, trying to convince me. I said, listen, man, I'm not gonna stand. I said, so you do what you gotta do, and I'll do what I have to do. And I'm so green, man, literally. I've never been suspended in my life. I'm thinking it's gonna take an act of legislation. I'm gonna be able to go play for a few weeks, and then they gotta go through a board and a process, and boom. And I'm like, can I go put my stuff on, man, and go play? He said, no. I said, I'm suspended now? He said, yeah. I said, well, can I get dressed and go into the arena and support the team? He says, no. I said, huh? He said, no, they don't want you on the premises. Have a go. So I walked out, went down, said what I had to say to the teammates, and they looked, and I drove home. Before I knew it, man, it was global. It was all over the news. Then I got on the phone with some people that I knew, a mentor of mine, and we talked. And that's the only reason I came back the next day, or whenever it was the next game, is because of the example that he gave me about something that the prophet did in light of a situation when there was a Jewish funeral procession passing by, and they were at war at the time. And the prophet stood up, and his companion was like, hey, we fighting them, and they fighting us. We're killing each other. He said, what are you standing? He said, I'm not standing because I'm not standing for their cause. I'm standing because God gave a life, and he took a life. He said, so you can stand and it not be for what America, in its brutality and its imperialistic ways, and represent. You could be standing for those who are oppressed, who are the victims, and you could be making prayer. And I was mad at him when he told me that, in a way, because the pride in me didn't want to come. But he made so much sense, and I like the pride. If you make sense.
You gotta, respect it, yeah.
Man, I was like, oh! I mean, I was furious.
Right.
You know, and I said, because I knew what the media would say. And so when I came back, that's very, so you made a compromise. I said, listen, man, as a Muslim, as a human being, we make a decision, but if we see something better, we do that. I said, but don't make no mistake. I said, I still feel the same way.
Right.
My position hasn't changed. And I had to keep beating that to him, let him know I'm not gonna backpedal. I'm not gonna become less outspoken as a result of this. We can go back to this same process if you want to and kick me out again.
Right.
No problem, you know. And